Welcome back as we continue to work through MyCase Accounting. So today we are looking at checks within the banking tab. So how I got here was from within MyCase Accounting and then select the banking submenu. Now, if you were already in the accounting section of MyCase, the submenus are across the top up here. And then after that, we've already done our look at the banking dashboard and deposit slips. And today we're on checks. So you'd select the checks menu, and it brings you to a list. And this is a very simple list of all checks that have ever been issued or posted or recorded, however you describe that, within MyCase Accounting. And this list is great. You're going to have a filter down here of how many rows are going to be listed per page. Now, just imagine I am a MyCase consultant, so I have a demo account of MyCase Accounting, and in here, we only have a handful. What is that? Like almost 10 checks. This will fill up very quickly in any firm of any size. Very quickly, you will have this filled up. So whatever your preference is for how many items you want to see on a page, that's your filter here. But as is common throughout MyCase, you have filters to start narrowing down information. So here's how this works. Say your landlord calls you and says, "Hey, I am looking at my records and I'm missing a rent check from you." And you'll say, "Oh, off the top of your head, you probably don't know the check number." So that you'll leave that one blank. And then looking at the different accounts so that you always pay rent out of this operating account. So you're going to select operating account. And then in here, you can leave it blank if you didn't know what account you normally pay your landlord from. But you can start searching in here by vendor or by client, but landlord. And then you're not really sure at this point what's going on. The landlord, you know that you're pretty comfortable that you issued the check, but you're not sure that it's cleared or uncleared. So we're going to leave that. That's what this status means. It's cleared your bank account, meaning the bank knows about it. It's been cashed and paid. It's uncleared, meaning you issued the check, did whatever, delivered it, whatever that means, whether it was in-person drop-off or pickup or by mail, or you voided it. So whatever that status is, but right now we don't know what that status is. So we don't need to use that for any reason. And then payment date, we have the ability, there's the predetermined filters, or you can type in the dates, but I'm not really sure right now because I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to apply the filters and see, oh yeah, we issued you a check. And the landlord says, "When did you issue the check?" And we'll say May 31st of 2022. Now I will tell you, I'm recording this video in January of 25, but so we'll say, "Hey, yeah, I issued you a check May 31st of 22. And oh yeah, from our records, it's cleared the bank." And this status is because of your bank reconciliation. So we know that it cleared the bank because we reconciled our account and the bank told us that it got cashed. And the landlord says, "Oh, but I'm not looking for the June 22 payment," because presumably if you issued a check on May 31st, it's for June 1st rent that was due. "No, I'm looking for December of 22. And you're like, "Oh no, it's not here. I don't see it." And so now you need to figure out what happened. So you do your research and you look and you said, "Oh, you even looked at your other accounts. We can reapply our filters." And yeah, gosh, you're right. I don't have this check for December. So now we know we need to write a check. We can just go up here. We can write our check. It's going to be, whether you're going to send it to a client or a vendor, definitely a vendor, our good old generic landlord. We're going to pay it from our operating account. And then suppose he lives on Main Street. I live outside of Cleveland, Ohio, so I just happen to know zip code there. MLK Days tomorrow, so we'll get it in the mail on Tuesday. The next check number is going to be 129, and we're going to put in here December 22 rent. Select a GL account number. Now you can either scroll down, you can type in, if you know the account number, you can start typing that in, or if you don't know, you can start filtering down by just typing in. So rent. Now, if this happens to be where you owe CAM in addition to rent, so say you really owed $1,250. So if rent is really $1,000, but you needed to pay the landlord $250 for CAM, that got allocated to your, however that works with your, whatever your lease says. So your total check is really $1,250. Then we can either save and close, or we can save and print. And this only makes a difference whether you need to physically print the check Or do you have a third-party service, or maybe through your online banking app, that you can go in and send the 1250? So if you are going to physically print the check, then save and print, and it's going to take us to the next screen where we can now throw the check stock, our pre-printed but blank check stock, meaning pre-printed that it has your, like the MICR line here with your routing number, account number, and the signature line, all that, and then your name and address. You would throw that in the printer, queue it up, select your printer, and then go ahead and print that. It automatically, once you saved it, now had I picked the other one that was just save and close instead of save and print, save and close would have taken me right back here. And then this would have been in here. It's uncleared now until we go and balance the checkbook. And hopefully we send it to him and he cashes it right away, and it'll clear in our January when we do the January bank rec. Now notice that in here, so these icons give us additional actions, and notice how this check is cleared. And so there's only 3 icons. We can either print, update, or delete, which actually is weird. I get the printing part, but I'm not sure what we would update. It's going to be limited because if we already cleared it from our bank account, we're only going to be able to see how certain things are like voided out. So we can change certain information in here, but primarily the thing that I would guess that you would want to update is if you coded it to the wrong, or classified it to the wrong expense account. That would be the thing. Or if you wanted to add more detail into your memo line. And so then you would update and close. Because obviously if it already cleared the bank, you can't change the amount. Okay, that's the big thing. But notice how in here, this is uncleared, and so we have an option to void it. So if we needed to void the check and reissue it, or void it and not reissue it, whatever the situation is, you have that ability here to do that. In here, the one last thing that I will say is edit check layout. So if you're going to print a physical check, you've got your 2 different options. You can either print, and I've seen this, there's actually 3 different options, although you're only seeing 2 on the screen, but some accounting programs will let you print in the middle third. And MyCase is just not set up for it. And it's not a big deal. It's just not a big deal at all. Just, you need to make sure that in MyCase Accounting, or when you order print stock, you either pick the standard check layout, meaning that your check portion is on the top. The middle piece is going to be remittance advice, is what I call it. I'm pretty sure that's the common terminology for that. And then the bottom third is what, when I do bookkeeping, when I used to pay bills for clients, I would tear off this bottom third, and then that was the internal copy for client records, and it would get stapled to the invoice. And then that would be the record to know that invoice was paid. So that's the standard check layout. And then the bottom third layout is the flip of this standard. The top 1/3 is what you keep for your bookkeeping records. The middle is the remittance advice, which is giving you any additional information to the vendor that they need to be able to cash this check. And then the check part is on the bottom third. So you would just pick whichever one is the one that you need your printer set up for. And then that tells MyCase Accounting how to lay out that information so that it gets printed correctly. And that is everything that we have about writing checks in MyCase Accounting. Be sure to subscribe and follow for more videos about MyCase Accounting.